Welcome back today. Today, we're diving deep into the world of the most expensive US coins ever sold, exploring jaw-dropping auction prices, fascinating history, and what makes these coins so incredibly valuable. So let's get started. First up, the 1966 Washington Quarter holds a special place in US numismatic history. As part of the Washington Quarter series, it was minted as a standard circulating coin, featuring George Washington's likeness on the obverse and an eagle on the reverse. This particular year, 1966, was significant for several reasons, not least because it marked the final year of a distinctive era in U.S. coinage. From 1932 to 1964, the Washington Quarter featured a higher silver content, but in 1965, the U.S. Mint made a crucial change, opting for a copper-nickel-clad composition in an effort to save on silver reserves, which were quickly depleting due to the high demand for precious metals. The Washington Quarter itself, designed by John Flanagan, is one of the most recognized designs in U.S. coinage. Flanagan's design of Washington on the obverse is elegant and regal, with the inscription "Liberty, the Year of Minting," and the phrase "In God We Trust" surrounding the bust. On the reverse, the eagle is depicted in flight, grasping an olive branch in one talon and arrows in the other, symbolizing peace and strength. This design has endured through many decades, with only minor adjustments along the way. For most collectors, the 1966 Washington Quarter would have been a typical coin, issued in large quantities and designed to circulate freely in the U.S. economy. However, a select few coins from this year are considered rare and highly valuable due to a production error known as a lamination error. Lamination errors occur when there's a flaw in the metal plancher during the minting process, causing part of the surface to peel away or appear uneven. This error is relatively rare, and because it impacts the appearance and integrity of the coin, it immediately captures the interest of coin collectors. For the 1966 Washington Quarter, these errors make the coin a highly sought-after specimen in today's auction market. In circulated condition, these error coins can still fetch impressive prices, often ranging from $59,000 depending on the severity of the lamination flaw and the overall condition of the coin. In better preserved examples, particularly those graded by professional numismatic grading services like PCGS or NGC, the value could exceed $62,000 or more. These prices can fluctuate depending on the current demand, the rarity of the error on a given coin, and whether it's a particularly noticeable or visually striking lamination error. Coins with lamination errors are generally less common than other types of errors like double strikes or misaligned dies, which makes them more desirable to collectors who are specifically looking for these rare flaws. As more collectors become aware of the potential value of these coins, their market demand increases, pushing prices upward. For most 1966 Washington Quarters, these features would appear with clarity and sharp detail. However, a lamination error distorts this otherwise crisp design. The peeling of the metal on the coin's surface can often obscure part of the design, particularly the eagle and the motto, making it even more unique and eye-catching. A lamination error happens during the minting process when a metal plancher, which is the flat disc of metal used to strike the coin, fails to bond properly during the rolling or blanking process. This can cause part of the metal to separate or lift away from the coin's surface, leading to irregular patches of exposed base metal or rough peeling areas. In the case of the 1966 Washington Quarter, a lamination error might occur on the obverse, affecting Washington's portrait or the surrounding inscriptions. It could also appear on the reverse, distorting the eagle or the text around it. The more pronounced the lamination flaw, the more noticeable the error, which often results in higher market value. This error is particularly attractive to collectors because it is a visible imperfection that distinguishes the coin from others in the same series, giving it an individual character and rarity that enhances its appeal. Collectors are always on the lookout for coins that possess unique qualities, and the 1966 Washington Quarter with a lamination error definitely fits that bill. Errors like this are a reminder of the imperfect process by which coins are produced, and the unpredictability of finding such an anomaly adds to their allure. The 1966 Washington Quarter with a lamination error appeals to both novice and experienced collectors alike. It represents a tangible example of an error coin, which is a category highly prized in the world of numismatics. Many collectors focus on specific errors or series, and for those who specialize in Washington quarters, a lamination error makes the coin a must-have for their collection. Stub. The 1942 Monticello 5 cents. Jefferson nickel is one of the most iconic coins of the 20th century, both for its design and its notable place in American coin history. When we talk about this coin being valuable, we're not just talking about any standard 1942 nickel. This specific coin has some unique characteristics that make it extremely sought after by collectors. The 1942 Jefferson nickel was minted at a time of immense change in the United States. The nation was deep into World War II, which affected the production of all types of goods, including coins. During this period, the U.S. Mint made changes to several coin designs due to shortages of metal caused by the war effort. One of the most significant changes was the switch from nickel to silver in the composition of certain coins. The 1942 nickel was one of the last to be made with the traditional copper-nickel alloy before these changes took effect later in the war. Over 119 million Jefferson nickels were produced in 1942, but what sets this particular coin apart is its large date variant. The large date variant is a distinctive feature found in the 1942 coin series, created due to a change in the die used for striking the coins. The larger digits were intended for the 1942 issue to be more legible, but due to the transition in the minting process, this feature became a significant identifying mark for collectors. It's worth noting that the 1942 large date with a large P mint mark is especially rare and extremely desirable in today's coin market. The large date and mint mark are prominently displayed on the obverse side, with the P mint mark indicating that it was minted at the Philadelphia Mint. The large P mint mark is a rare feature, and it adds to the value of the coin. What makes the 1942 Monticello 5 cents Jefferson nickel even more interesting is the unique color and condition it is found in. Black color and dirty condition often indicate environmental exposure, which can sometimes lead to the coin gaining a patina or altered look. While this typically reduces the value of a coin in pristine condition, for collectors of rarities, these altered conditions can actually increase the value of the coin. Due to its rarity, the 1942 large date with a large P mint mark in black color and dirty condition can fetch significant amounts at auction. In the current market, a well-preserved example of this coin could command anywhere from $50,000 or more. The price fluctuates based on the extent of wear, tarnish, and the overall eye appeal of the coin. For a specimen in near mint or exceptional condition, collectors could expect the coin's value to climb into the thousands of dollars. The black color and dirty condition are considered a type of toning, which some collectors view as an intriguing characteristic. In fact, coins with these attributes can often go for higher prices at auctions than their more pristine counterparts, especially if they have a unique or rare history tied to them. For a coin like this 1942 Monticello nickel, the value can sometimes exceed $75,000 at high-end auctions, particularly if it's certified by a reputable grading service like PCGS or NGC. Error coins, like this one with the large date and mint mark, are always in high demand among collectors. The 1942 large date variety itself is already a sought-after piece due to its historical significance and the slight die modification that caused the larger digits. As with most error coins, collectors are fascinated by the story of how they came into being. With the Philadelphia Mint having produced millions of these coins, the number of surviving pieces with the large P mint mark and black color is limited, which makes them rare and valuable. Collectors of U.S. error coins are particularly drawn to this example because of the combination of the large date, large P mint mark, and the unique blackened appearance of the coin. When combined with the historical significance of the World War II era, the 1942 Monticello nickel becomes a highly coveted item for numismatists who are looking to add something truly special to their collections. In summary, the 1942 large date with a large P mint mark in black color and dirty condition is an exceptional find. Its historical context, rarity, and the error features make it one of the most valuable Jefferson nickels in circulation today. Whether you're an experienced collector or a newcomer to the world of numismatics, this coin is sure to make a statement in any collection. Next up, much like the 1980 Washington quarter, the 1984 Washington quarter dollar was minted during a time of high production rates at the U.S. Mint. This was an era where mass coin production meant that some coins were more likely to slip through the cracks with slight variations or errors. The U.S. Mint produced millions of these quarters, and again, in 1984, a subtle minting error occurred with the large date variety that collectors would later come to covet. The 1984 Washington quarter dollar, particularly in good condition, has seen its market value rise over time, especially when it features the D-mint mark and the error of the large date. At the time, the country was in the midst of transitioning into the 1980s with an expanding economy, and the minting process was designed to keep up with the increased demand for coins. The 1984 coin was part of a large series of circulating coins that would be used in daily commerce across the nation. While the 1984 Washington quarter dollar shares many of the same features as its predecessors, the large date error makes this particular coin much more fascinating and valuable. The 1984 Washington quarter is very similar in design to its 1980 counterpart, as it features John Flanagan's famous portrait of George Washington on the obverse. The reverse showcases the traditional eagle, surrounded by the same inscriptions as the previous quarter designs. These features are familiar to collectors, but what differentiates the 1984 coin is the subtle, large date error. When examining the 1984 coin, you will notice the numbers for the year appear much larger and bolder than those seen on other Washington quarters from that year. This error is the result of a mix-up in the dies used to strike the coin, resulting in a much more pronounced date on the coin. This is significant because the large date version is not as commonly found as the standard version, and when paired with the D-mint mark, it becomes even rarer. The D-mint mark on the 1984 Washington quarter indicates that the coin was minted at the Denver Mint, just like the 1980 variety. This mint mark is an essential feature for collectors, as it not only identifies the location where the coin was produced, but also plays a role in identifying rare varieties and errors. The 1984 Washington quarter dollar had a large mintage, as millions of these coins were struck at both the Denver and Philadelphia mints. However, similar to the 1980 variety, the large date error was relatively rare. The error resulted from the incorrect die pairings used in the production process, leading to a bolder, larger representation of the year 1984. Although the minting process was largely standardized during this period, these minor discrepancies led to the creation of a unique and valuable variety. The mintage of the 1984 Washington quarter dollar was part of the regular coin production process, but when it was discovered that the large date variety had slipped through the cracks, collectors immediately began to take notice. This error, along with the D-mint mark, created a desirable coin that would become a cornerstone for error coin enthusiasts. The 1984 Washington quarter dollar with the large date D-mint mark error has continued to garner attention from both novice and experienced collectors alike. These coins are highly sought after due to their unique error, and as collectors strive to complete sets with rare and valuable pieces, this particular coin stands out. While the overall mintage of the 1984 Washington quarter was high, the large date error paired with the D-mint mark has ensured that these coins are much more valuable than their non-error counterparts. The value of a 1984 Washington quarter with the large date error in good condition can range anywhere from $67,000 depending on its condition and the current demand in the marketplace. The price can be higher for coins in better conditions, and as with any coin, rarity and collector interest will ultimately drive the value. As the years go by, this coin is likely to appreciate further, especially as error coins continue to capture the attention of investors and collectors. Thank you for watching this in-depth exploration of the 1980 and 1984 Washington quarters. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell to stay updated on more valuable coin discoveries. Until next time, keep collecting. And remember, the world of coins is full of hidden treasures just waiting to be discovered. Next up, the 1974 Washington quarter represents a continuation of the long-running series that began in 1932, with only minor changes to its design over the years. By 1974, the U.S. Mint had fully transitioned to the copper-nickel-clad composition, which had been introduced in 1965 as a response to the rising cost of silver. This change fundamentally altered the look and feel of the coin, as well as its composition, which now included a core of pure copper sandwiched between two layers of copper-nickel alloy. 1974 was also a politically charged year in U.S. history, with the Watergate scandal in full swing and President Nixon facing impeachment proceedings. The coinage of the era was part of a broader period of national upheaval, but the Washington quarter remained a symbol of the nation's values and heritage, largely unaffected by these political events. The 1974 Washington quarter is significant for collectors due to the large date variety. This refers to the size of the digits on the coin's date, which is noticeably larger compared to earlier years. The 1974 large-date Washington quarter is not necessarily an error, but it is a distinctive feature that collectors look for. The larger date was a result of changes in the minting process, which can be traced back to the varying dies used by the U.S. Mint during that period. Like the other coins in the Washington Quarter series, the 1974 quarter features the iconic portrait of George Washington on the obverse and the eagle on the reverse. The obverse inscription reads, "Liberty above Washington's portrait, with, in God, we trust to the right," and the year 1974 below. The reverse features the same eagle design that has become synonymous with American coinage, grasping an olive branch and arrows in each talon. The words United States of America and E pluribus unum curve along the top, while quarter dollar is inscribed along the bottom. While the 1974 Washington quarter is generally not as rare as the 1966 example, with a lamination error, it is still highly collectible, especially in well-preserved circulated conditions. The large date variety holds significant interest among collectors, as it represents a distinct variation within the Washington Quarter series. Coins in this variety can sell for anywhere between $18,000 depending on the condition and whether the coin has been professionally graded. Next up, the 1944 Monticello 5-cent Jefferson nickel with a lamination error is another prime example of how small mistakes during the minting process can lead to large value in the collector's market. While the 1944 nickel may seem like a fairly standard coin at first glance, its unique error makes it an incredibly rare and highly valued piece in today's market. The 1944 Jefferson nickel was produced during the height of World War II, a time when the U.S. Mint was under significant pressure to produce coins quickly and efficiently. As a result, the production of nickels and other coins sometimes led to irregularities in the minting process. The 1944 nickel had a mintage of approximately 119 million, which makes it relatively common in terms of its general availability. However, errors like the lamination error are exceedingly rare, which gives this particular version of the coin its value. During this period, the U.S. Mint continued to strike coins using a copper-nickel alloy, and they were using die changes that occasionally led to errors. The large date and large P mint mark are hallmarks of this year's issue, and as with the 1942 variant, these features make the 1944 Monticello nickel especially desirable among collectors. The 1944 Monticello nickel carries the classic design first introduced in 1938, featuring the image of Thomas Jefferson on the obverse and Monticello on the reverse. The large P mint mark is found just to the right of Jefferson's portrait, indicating that this particular coin was minted in Philadelphia. The design of the Monticello nickel is simple yet elegant. The reverse shows the westward view of Jefferson's Monticello estate, while the obverse has a portrait of Jefferson. The simplicity and clean lines of the design make this coin easy to recognize and admire. The lamination error found in the 1944 Monticello nickel is particularly noteworthy. Lamination errors occur when the layers of metal on the coin do not bond properly during the minting process, leading to the coin showing visible cracks, peels, or separations. In the case of the 1944 Monticello nickel, the lamination error gives the coin a distinctive look that is highly prized among collectors. These errors are typically caused by issues in the coin planchets, metal discs used for coin production, that have impurities or inconsistencies in their composition. When the planchet is struck by the die, The metal does not fully bond, creating a peeling or cracking effect. This error is often visible to the naked eye and can make a coin appear damaged or aged. However, for collectors, this damage is actually what increases the coin's value, as errors like this are relatively rare. In the current market, a 1944 Monticello nickel with a lamination error can fetch anywhere from $93,000 depending on its condition and the severity of the error. More severe examples, particularly those with substantial peeling or cracks, can fetch even higher prices at auction. Some rare coins in near-mint condition, even with the lamination error, have been known to sell for over $100,000. Collectors are particularly drawn to coins with lamination errors because of the unique nature of these mistakes. No two lamination errors are exactly the same, and each one tells its own story about the minting process. This makes coins with these errors highly collectible, especially for error enthusiasts. The 1944 Monticello nickel's lamination error, combined with the large date and large P mint mark, makes it a highly desirable item for collectors. With such a low number of lamination errors surviving in good condition, this coin has a niche following among those who specialize in U.S. mint errors. In conclusion, the 1944 Monticello 5 cents Jefferson nickel with the large date, large P mint mark, and lamination error in circulated condition is an incredibly valuable and rare piece of U.S. coinage. Its historical significance, unique error, and collector demand make it one of the most sought-after Jefferson nickels on the market today. Next up, the 1982 Washington quarter dollar, especially with the large date and D mint mark, is a coin that strikes a significant chord in the hearts of collectors. In 1982, the United States Mint produced the Washington quarter as part of the standard coinage series. The coin's design, which features a depiction of George Washington, was originally created by John Flanagan in 1932, and it has remained the same for decades. While the design remained consistent, the minting process, technology, and public demand have varied, making certain coins, like the 1982 issue, more valuable than others due to rare features, production errors, or simply their place in numismatic history. The large date variety is significant in the world of coin collecting because of its relatively scarce production and distinctiveness compared to the regular 1982 quarter. The large date coins, produced primarily by the Denver Mint, are considered rarer and are highly coveted by collectors. The Denver Mint was known for producing these coins with a larger, bolder date compared to the standard size used by the Philadelphia Mint. This discrepancy caught the attention of collectors, who quickly recognized that this version was not commonly found in circulation, and its rarity would give it unique value in the coin market. The mint mark, in this case, is the D representing the Denver Mint. The 1982 quarter produced at the Denver Mint is significant because of its large date variety. However, not every 1982 Denver minted quarter was struck with this error. In fact, only a select number of coins were affected, making these quarters exceedingly rare today. As for mintage numbers, the total mintage of Washington quarters in 1982 was approximately 779 million across all mints. The Denver Mint produced a significant number of these coins, but fewer large date varieties made it into circulation. The exact number of 1982 large date quarters is uncertain, but estimates suggest that only a few million exist in this distinctive form, contributing to its scarcity and value. The fine condition of this coin is another factor contributing to its appeal in the market. Fine condition typically means the coin shows moderate wear, but retains much of its original detail, making it an attractive option for collectors looking for an affordable yet valuable piece to add to their collection. In fine condition, the overall visual appeal of the coin still stands out, with the features of George Washington's portrait and the reverse design of the eagle still relatively clear and defined. The obverse of the 1982 Washington quarter features a left-facing portrait of George Washington, created by John Flanagan. Washington, the first president of the United States, is portrayed with sharp, detailed lines in the 1932 design, which has become iconic in the world of coinage. The word Liberty is inscribed at the top, while the year 1982 appears beneath the portrait, which is the key indicator for determining the large date versus regular date variety. The key distinguishing feature of this 1982 large date with the D mint mark is the size of the numerals in the year 1982. The numbers in the large date variety are noticeably larger than those found on other 1982 Washington quarters, setting this coin apart from its counterparts and making it more desirable to numismatists. As mentioned, the large date feature is not considered an error, but rather a variation. However, this version was not as commonly circulated as the regular 1982 quarter, and its unique characteristics have made it a focal point for collectors interested in rare variations of common coins. The existence of a large date in combination with the D mint mark has created a highly desirable piece for collectors who specialize in minting anomalies, which often carry a premium. The Washington Quarter series has always held a place in numismatic history, and the 1982 large date is no exception. The coin's value is boosted by its status as a semi-key date in the series, which is especially important for collectors looking to complete a set of Washington quarters from 1932 onward. The appeal of the 1982 large date with D mint mark also comes from its historical importance. Washington quarters were produced during the Reagan administration, a time of great change and economic development in the United States. This coin serves as a tangible reminder of the era and the role of U.S. coinage in reflecting the nation's identity. In today's market, a Washington quarter dollar 1982, large date with D mint, mark in fine condition, is valued significantly higher than its face value. Based on recent auctions and coin grading reports, this coin can fetch anywhere from $40,000 depending on its specific condition, auction environment, and collector demand. Some higher-grade specimens, especially those with even finer conditions or additional certification, may sell for significantly more. Next up, the 1943 Jefferson nickel is one of the key coins in the history of the U.S. Mint. During World War II, the U.S. was facing significant material shortages, including the nickel needed to mint coins. The war effort led to changes in the metal composition of several coins, and the Jefferson nickel was no exception. The 1943 Jefferson nickel, which was produced in both Philadelphia and San Francisco, stands out because of its large date design and the larger-than-usual S mint mark. These variations were part of an effort to streamline coin production during the war, with different mints producing distinct variations that would eventually contribute to its rarity and desirability in the numismatic market. In 1943, the United States Mint was under intense pressure to meet the demands of wartime production. Coins like the Jefferson nickel were essential in daily transactions, and even small variations in their production could mark a coin as unique or noteworthy. That's where the large date and large S mint mark come into play. While the overall mintage of the 1943 nickel was high, the large S mint mark variation has become a collector's favorite, especially in dirty condition. The dirt or tarnish that accumulates on these coins over time, while making the coin less visually appealing, also adds a layer of historical character and uniqueness, which collectors find fascinating. The Jefferson nickel design was first introduced in 1938, featuring Thomas Jefferson, the third president of the United States, on the obverse. Designed by Felix Schlag, this design has remained largely unchanged for over 80 years, except for slight modifications and variations throughout the years. On the reverse side of the 1943 Jefferson nickel, we see Monticello, the plantation home of Thomas Jefferson, symbolizing his legacy. This design is iconic and has been a cornerstone of the nickel series for decades. The 1943 nickel, like other coins of the series, was struck in 75% copper and 25% nickel, although this particular year saw minor changes in composition due to wartime material shortages. The key design feature for the 1943 large S mint mark variety lies on the reverse side of the coin, where a larger-than-normal S mint mark can be seen next to Monticello. This mint mark variation is one of the main reasons why collectors find this coin so intriguing, especially when it is in dirty or circulated condition. The mintage of the 1943 Jefferson nickel was substantial, with roughly 120 million produced at the San Francisco Mint alone. However, only a small fraction of those coins exhibit the large S mint mark, which adds to the rarity of this particular variation. Due to this, even coins in dirty condition are highly sought after by collectors looking to complete their sets. In terms of market value, a 1943 large S Jefferson nickel in dirty circulated condition can command significant prices, especially if it is well preserved despite its tarnish. While typical coins in less than perfect condition might sell for around $38,500, well-circulated examples of this particular variety can fetch upwards of $40,000 at auction, and in more rare instances, these coins can even go for $62,000 or more if they have additional desirable features such as strong strike or clear mint marks. Collectors tend to place significant value on coins like this because of their historical context, rarity, and the fact that they often represent pieces of U.S. history that are no longer in circulation. The presence of the large mint mark and the unique dirty condition add to the mystery and allure, driving up their desirability. One of the key features of the 1943 Jefferson nickel that drives its market value is the potential for errors, specifically with the large S mint mark. While these errors were not widespread, they were still a significant enough anomaly to capture the attention of collectors. Error coins from this era often have substantial value, and the 1943 large S mint mark variety is no exception. The collector interest in this coin, especially those in dirty or tarnished condition, stems from the fact that these coins are rare and tied to a specific moment in American history, the Second World War. Coins from this time period often carry a certain sense of nostalgia and intrigue, making them particularly attractive to both new and experienced collectors. Moreover, this particular variety offers a look into the imperfect nature of wartime production. The different mint marks, the dirty appearance, and the occasional errors speak to the production challenges the U.S. Mint faced during the war, which is something that numismatists value in their quest for historically significant coins. Next up, the 1979 Washington quarter dollar, particularly the large date variety without a mint mark, is another noteworthy coin in the world of U.S. coinage. The 1979 issue was produced during the presidency of Jimmy Carter, and it marked the end of a significant era in U.S. numismatic history. The design of the Washington quarter remained the same as it had since 1932, featuring George Washington on the obverse and an eagle on the reverse. However, the 1979 quarters stood out due to a key minting feature, specifically the large date variety. In 1979, there was a noticeable change in how the minting process worked, particularly at the Philadelphia Mint. The design for the 1979 quarters was struck with a larger date than usual, creating a visible difference from the normal size date used in other years. While this large date feature is significant, it is also noteworthy that the 1979 quarters without a mint mark are rarer than those with the D mint mark, which was used to indicate coins minted in Denver. The 1979 quarter without a mint mark is a significant coin for collectors who are focused on the Washington quarter series, as it is one of the first examples of this large date variety. The Philadelphia Mint produced these coins in large quantities, and most circulated widely, leading to many of them being found in lower grades. Unlike the 1982 Denver minted large date quarters, the 1979 Washington quarter without a mint mark was struck at the Philadelphia Mint. As there was no mint mark to identify these coins, collectors often have to rely on other distinguishing factors, such as the large date variety, to confirm their authenticity. The mintage for the 1979 Washington quarter was substantial, reaching over 690 million across all variations, but only a small percentage of these coins were struck with the large date, making them a prized piece for collectors. The mintage of the 1979 large date without mint mark is estimated to be a small fraction of that total. As with most U.S. coins, many were released into circulation, and many coins have become heavily worn, making the coin in good condition a rare find. As with the 1982 quarter, the 1979 Washington quarter features the classic design by John Flanagan. The obverse shows a left-facing profile of George Washington, and the reverse displays the eagle in flight, clutching arrows and an olive branch. The key distinguishing feature on the 1979 large date without mint mark is the bold, larger numerals in the date 1979. The larger size of the date is the main attraction for collectors, making it a sought-after coin. Unlike other years where the date is slightly smaller and less prominent, the 1979 quarter's large date is immediately noticeable, which is part of what makes this coin so unique and valuable in the eyes of numismatists. Additionally, because of its lack of a mint mark, this coin stands out as a Philadelphia Mint issue, further adding to its intrigue. Though the 1979 large date without mint mark is not considered an error coin, it is certainly a variety that is highly valued by collectors due to its rarity and distinctiveness. Many coin collectors consider these types of varieties to be as valuable as minting errors, since they were the result of a specific minting decision that led to a noticeable difference in design. Collectors often seek out Washington quarters from the late 1970s, and the large date 1979 variety is a key piece for those working to complete a set of Washington quarters. Its scarcity, particularly in higher grades, drives its desirability. As with the 1982 large date quarter, the 1979 large date without mint mark has seen increased demand in recent years, particularly as more people are becoming aware of the coin's historical significance. A 1979 Washington quarter dollar with the large date and without a mint mark in good condition is valued in the range of $26,000 in today's auction market. This price can vary depending on the coin's specific condition and whether it has been certified by a professional grading service. Higher quality specimens can fetch more, with pristine examples sometimes exceeding $46,500 in auctions. Given its historical value and status as a key variety, the price of this coin may continue to rise as demand for Washington quarters increases among collectors. Next up, the 1940 Jefferson nickel is another cornerstone of the Monticello nickel series, but unlike its 1943 counterpart, it was produced in times of peace before the pressures of war began to influence coin production. The 1940 Jefferson nickel, struck in Philadelphia, features the standard no mint mark, which is typical for coins minted at the Philadelphia Mint during that time. At the time, the United States was still in the midst of the Great Depression, and while the nation was recovering, there were still significant economic challenges. The Jefferson nickel was designed to replace the older Liberty Head nickel series and was part of a broader effort to modernize U.S. coinage during the 1930s and 1940s. Struck in 75% copper and 25% nickel, the 1940 Jefferson nickel remains one of the most iconic coins in U.S. numismatics. Over 70 million of these coins were struck, ensuring their availability in the market, but its very fine circulated condition makes this particular coin sought after by collectors. The no mint mark on the 1940 coin is a distinguishing feature. Since Philadelphia did not use a mint mark during this period, all coins produced at this facility feature the standard, unmarked reverse. This is a key aspect of identifying the coin as being produced at the Philadelphia Mint rather than one of the other U.S. mint facilities. The 1940 Jefferson nickel is part of a large mintage run, with approximately 70 million coins produced at the Philadelphia Mint. Given the high mintage, the 1940 Jefferson nickel is not as rare as some other varieties, but it is still highly valuable, especially in a very fine circulated condition. In today's market, a 1940 Jefferson nickel in very fine circulated condition can be worth between $20,000 depending on its condition and overall appearance. However, coins with particularly strong details and minimal wear can command higher prices. A coin with very fine details but well circulated can fetch around $23,000 depending on the auction market. The value of this coin, much like its 1943 counterpart, is influenced by its historical context and collector interest. The Monticello design and the connection to Thomas Jefferson make this coin a piece of American history, and coins in very fine condition continue to be highly sought after by numismatists. While the 1940 coin is not typically associated with major minting errors, collectors still find interest in the variations of this coin, especially those in very fine circulated condition. The absence of a mint mark is not considered an error, but it is part of the appeal for collectors seeking Philadelphia Mint coins from the 1940s. Furthermore, coins with minor flaws, such as striking errors or planche issues, are also of interest to numismatists looking for unique examples of U.S. mint production. Next up, the Washington quarter dollar, a staple in U.S. coinage, was first introduced in 1932 to commemorate the 200th anniversary of George Washington's birth. This iconic coin features a depiction of Washington, designed by John Flanagan. While the coin has undergone several design and minting changes throughout the years, it remained relatively unchanged for decades. However, the year 1980 marked an interesting phase in the minting process, leading to the creation of an error coin that is now highly prized by collectors, the 1980 Washington quarter dollar, with a large date and a D-mint mark error. The minting of the 1980 Washington quarter took place during a period when the U.S. Mint had already moved towards producing coins in mass quantities. The 1980s were an era of increased coin production, and many collectors are particularly fascinated by the coins from this period because of the subtle differences and errors that often slipped through the cracks. A notable error on the 1980 Washington quarter occurred in the minting of the large date version with a D mint mark, which led to this coin's extraordinary value today. However, what sets the 1980 Washington quarter apart from other quarters is the large date feature. The mint workers accidentally used a die with larger numerals for the year 1980, leading to a significant variation in the coin's appearance. In addition, the coin features the D mint mark, indicating that it was produced at the Denver Mint. The combination of the large date and mint mark error makes this coin incredibly desirable to collectors. The total mintage of the 1980 Washington quarter dollar was substantial, with millions of coins produced at the Denver, Philadelphia, and San Francisco mints. However, the large date with the D mint mark error was a much rarer variety. Minting errors are often unpredictable and can happen when there is a mix-up in the dies, or if a die is damaged or worn. In this case, a mistake was made with the year's digits, leading to the large date variety. The presence of this error on the D-Mint coin has only increased its allure among collectors. Many Washington quarters from this period were made in great quantities, and most were not carefully examined for these minor imperfections. However, this error was not immediately noticed, and many 1980D mint mark quarters were released into circulation. As the years went by, collectors started to notice the unique large date feature, and it became clear that these coins were a rare and valuable find. The error occurs because of a slight die discrepancy between the large and small date dies, which led to some of the coins being minted with a larger year. The large date variation has a more pronounced, bolder look compared to the standard version. This minor variation became significant among coin collectors, especially when paired with the D mint mark. Over time, as more collectors have sought out these unique varieties, the 1980 Washington quarter dollar with the D mint mark error has gained significant traction in the market. The collector interest in this coin is substantial, as error coins are typically more coveted due to their rarity. While most coins are judged based on their mintage and condition, the presence of an error adds an extra level of fascination for numismatists. In fine condition, the 1980 Washington quarter dollar with the D mint mark error can command a premium at auction. While the general 1980 Washington quarter is relatively common, this particular error coin stands out. Auction values can fluctuate, but coins in fine condition have been known to fetch $37,000 depending on the rarity of the error and the overall demand. In more pristine conditions, such as in uncirculated grades, prices can soar even higher. In conclusion, the 1980 Washington quarter dollar with the D mint mark error is a coin that every serious collector should look out for. Its combination of historical context, striking design, and error feature make it an exciting addition to any collection. Next up, the 1964 Jefferson nickel, which commemorates Thomas Jefferson's role as a founding father and his association with the Louisiana Purchase, is a coin that holds special significance in American history. It has been part of the U.S. Mint's regular production since 1938, featuring the likeness of Jefferson on the obverse and Monticello, his Virginia estate, on the reverse. The coin has gone through several changes and updates in design over the decades, with the 1964 iteration marking a notable year for the Jefferson nickel series. In 1964, the United States Mint continued to produce the coin as part of the regular coinage production for that year, but there was an issue that would set this particular coin apart from others produced during the same year. A mint error, specifically a D mint mark error, started to appear on some coins from that year. This error created a highly coveted version of the 1964 Jefferson nickel, especially with the large date variety and the presence of the D-mint mark error. In terms of historical context, the 1964 Jefferson nickel is interesting because it was produced during a time of significant changes in U.S. coinage. The U.S. Mint was transitioning to a new era of coin production with a focus on new designs and innovations. This was also the year after President John F. Kennedy was assassinated, a time of national reflection and a shift in how the nation viewed its history and symbols. Coins from this era, particularly those with errors, are seen as valuable relics of an important period in U.S. history. The reverse of the coin showcases Monticello, Jefferson's Virginia estate, which serves as a symbol of his legacy and dedication to the principles of democracy. The reverse design has remained relatively unchanged since it was first introduced in 1938, and it continues to honor Jefferson's role in shaping the nation. The reverse inscription reads, E pluribus unum, which is Latin for out of many, a motto that reflects the unity of the United States. Below Monticello, the word Monticello is inscribed, along with the words 5 cents, indicating the denomination of the coin. The 1964 Jefferson nickel had a total mintage of around 1 billion coins. However, not all of these coins were impacted by the D-mint mark error. The D-error mint mark is a result of a flaw in the die used to strike the coins, which caused the mint mark to be incorrectly applied. This error is relatively rare, and as such, coins bearing this error have become highly valuable among collectors. It's important to note that the majority of the 1964 Jefferson nickels were struck at the Denver Mint, with coins bearing the D-mint mark being particularly common. However, due to the D-mint mark error, certain examples of the coin have become highly sought after. The error was subtle, but it created a unique and distinct variety that collectors have come to treasure. Only a small percentage of the total mintage of 1964 Jefferson nickels had the error, making them a rare find in the marketplace today. The D-mint mark error on the 1964 Jefferson nickel is one of the primary factors driving collector interest and value. The error occurred when the Denver Mint used a die that was improperly engraved, resulting in a mint mark that is significantly different from the typical D-mint mark found on other coins of that year. This error is not immediately noticeable to the untrained eye, but to seasoned collectors, it's an obvious flaw that can be easily identified. Collectors who specialize in error coins or those who focus on the Jefferson nickel series are particularly interested in this variety. The coin's value increases significantly when it is identified as a D-mint mark error, especially if it's in good or fine condition. The 1964 Jefferson nickel with the D error is considered a gem among error coin collectors and is highly prized in auctions. In terms of market value, the 1964 Jefferson nickel with the D-mint mark error can fetch impressive prices in today's auction market. As of recent auctions, coins in circulated fine condition can range anywhere from $75,000, depending on the severity of the error, the coin's condition, and the demand among collectors. Coins in uncirculated or near-perfect condition have seen even higher values, reaching upwards of $82,500 in some cases. This coin is a prime example of how small errors in minting can drastically affect the value of a coin. While the standard 1964 Jefferson nickel is still a relatively common coin, the error variety stands out and commands a premium price due to its rarity. Thanks for tuning in to Valuable Coins. If you enjoyed this deep dive into these incredible Jefferson nickels, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and share your thoughts in the comments below. We'll be back soon with more detailed coin breakdowns. Happy collecting, and we'll see you in the next video.